Hello and welcome to Katrinas Creations. It is our Saturday edition. At the time of filming, we are only 14 people away from our next 100 subscriber giveaway. So if you haven't, please click that little red subscribe button down below. And if you give me a thumbs up with this video, I really do appreciate it. It does help the analytics so that it gets recognized or recommended to people over on YouTube as well. So let's get started. I got lots done this week, including starting 2 new projects. So we'll start with my finished object. I finished my sweater. This is the Dragonfly pullover. It is a free pattern. Now, I'm not sure about, I have actually not tried this on at the time of filming this. It is a dropped shoulder. My shoulder is right about here. So these might be 3/4 length sleeves. I could have made them a little bit longer. I do have enough yarn, but at this point I'm happy with how they are because I might be able to wear that a little bit more than just in the winter time. So here is what the finished project looked like. It just has a ribbing on the neckline and a ribbing on the sleeves, and then the bottom is this pretty lacy edge. So I haven't blocked this or anything. It literally came off the needles just the other day, and I got the ends woven. So yeah, I will stick a clip in of me wearing this. So apparently I have shorter arms than what I thought I did because it comes right to my wrists. So yeah, I am shorter armed and fatter bodied. I thought I would have more leeway in here, but it is loose. But I like the length it came to because it comes about midway on my hips, which will make it nice for wearing either a skirt or pants, either one. I do notice when I flex my arms, it does pull up a little teeny bit. So I actually, and I might do this, I actually could take this, put it back on the needles and add about 1 inch to 1.5 inches on each sleeve. And that would make it truly a long sleeve. So I seriously will probably do that since I have the yarn to do it with. But here's what it looks like. I'm real happy with how it fits in the neck because I don't like ones that are too wide here where I'm constantly tugging at it. So yeah, I like the fit of the pattern. It fits well under the sleeves or underneath my arms. So yeah, and it seems to be pretty true to size. There is a little bit of positive ease, but it's really comfortable. So I like the yarn. It's very soft. So totally happy with this one. So it is super soft. I really am happy with how it turned out. So there it is. Then my other project that I've been working on is my moss stitch blanket. And I've gotten a long ways on that. I do, because I am doing 4 colors, there's my end. Because I am doing 4 colors at a time, I do have lots of ends to weave in. So what I've been doing is I wait till I get about 6 inches worth, about like this maybe, and then I weave those in. So you can see I've woven the other ends here. That way it just doesn't get a little too overwhelming. But here is where I was last week. So I have gone almost half again the length of the blanket. Now you may think this is kind of narrow for an Afghan, even a lapghan. Maybe for a lapghan it would be okay, but here's my thought what I'm going to be using it for. I have a chair in my living room that is white and tan and blue striped. I spill things all the time, so I have a cover. I actually have a poncho that I made from a yarn advent calendar a couple years ago that I've actually got spread out on the chair so that when I sit, I'm sitting on that so I don't stain the chair. But I really would like to be able to wear the poncho. So my thought is that's what this is going to be. And so it is going to be just wide enough, actually maybe a little wider than what it needs to be. But I think this will work for it. And it will go with the pattern that's already there because again, it is striped. Of course, the stripes are going to be running the opposite direction, but I think it'll be fine, and it kind of goes with my motif of my my living room, which is a nautical theme, so I have lots of blues and whites and yellows. So I'll insert the chair so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see my poncho in it right now too. So yeah, that's what I've been working on with that. Then, because of taking Dave to different physical therapies and stuff, I did not want to be hauling around projects that required more than one skein of yarn because I was like, I'm going to have a mess on my hands. I didn't want to have anything I needed to pattern with. So I got started on that Hobby Lobby yarn that I had. The yarn is, I love this yarn, and the color is Beret Day. So I've gone through one full skein so far, and this is like one of those granny rectangles where you start in the center and then you just kind of go around in rectangles. So I'll hold it out this way so you can see it more. So that's one skein of it so far. This is the one that I thought reminded me of like rag rugs or braided rugs. Just kind of countryish colors. So been working on that. 2 more skeins to go. So it's not going to be a huge Afghan, but I'm actually just making this so that when the kids come in, like from Ohio, the grandkids and stuff, when they're sleeping upstairs, if they want an extra blanket. Right now I have a sheet on the bed, you know, a top sheet, and I have like a fleece type of blanket, but in case they would want something else, they'll have something a little bit warmer. So that I wanted something that was washable too. So I do have lots of Afghans, but some of them are wool. And yeah, I don't want to have to hand wash lots of wool blankets. So that's what I'm making the acrylic blankets for. And then, as if that wasn't enough, because, you know, I might be bored, I started yet another project because I finished the knitted sweater, and I've gotten quite a ways on it. So this is a free pattern. It is called Scituate Harbor. It was designed by Allison Green. It is a free pattern over on Barocco.com. Now the funny thing about this, Scituate Harbor, Scituate, I think I'm pronouncing that right, that is in Massachusetts. It's along the coast. My ancestors have been here since the early 1600s, and some of them actually settled in Scituate. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, how cool is that? So I'm going to insert a picture so you can see what the sweater is supposed to look like. However, I am modifying it because it is a 3/4 length sleeve, and I'm making this with Comfy Cotton Blend, so it's going to be a short sleeved sweater, so, or tee, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to insert that picture so you can see what it's supposed to look like. And the yarn I am using is this. This is Comfy Cotton Blend, and the color is called Flower Garden. To me, it reminds me, if you remember Fruit Stripe gum. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of, Fruit Stripe gum. Which is funny because I am not a gum chewer, but when I was a kid, my dad's mother, every time we went and visited, she gave us either Wrigley's Spearmint Gum, Fruit Stripe Gum, Good and Plenty, which I could not stand. It's licorice flavored. Or she gave us Raisinets, which I don't like raisins either, so it's funny. But yeah, anyway, that's my memories of Fruit Stripe gum. So that's what this reminds me of. This is a 3-weight, so it is a DK weight yarn, and there are 392 yards per skein. I have 3 skeins of this, and does it say I said the yardage already. What is it made up of? I know it's a blend. So it is 50% cotton and 50% polyester. Now I have I made a top out of this before? No, I have made, I've made my washcloths out of this, and I've made some dishcloths out of this, and it washes up really well. It does not fade. I've got some that I think it's called Cafe au lait. I think that's what it was. I've got 1 more skein of it left, and I've made all of like, those of you in the UK would call it flannels. Here we would call it a washcloth. I've crocheted or knitted my own washcloths, and I used Comfy Cotton Blend to do it. And it really does hold up well. It doesn't stretch out a whole lot. And like I said, I haven't found the colors fading, and I've been using them for a couple years now. So here is what my sweater looks like. And it's a top-down sweater. It's all one piece. and it has this lace work all the way around it. So the lace kind of, you do increases and it increases out to about here, which is where I'm going to stop the sleeves. So you're doing kind of a round yoke, and then you kind of tie off the sleeves, and then you go down from there. And then you would go back and do the remainder of the sleeves to make the 3/4 length. But like I said, I'm making mine short sleeved, so I won't be doing that. But yeah, I'm real happy with it. It's a very easy pattern so far. So that's what it looks like when it's knitted up. And it's going quick because it's a DK weight. It's really going along fast. And I've used almost half of the skein, maybe not, you know, maybe I'm feeling it right now, maybe about 1/3 of the skein. So yeah, I should have plenty of yarn. So that's what I've been working on this week. What have you been working on? So if you would like to participate in Show and Tell, it is open to everybody. It does not even need to be a project that you've just recently finished. It can be something you made years ago, but you think it's pretty and you would like to share it with us because we would like to see it too. All you need to do is send me a picture to my Facebook page at Katrina Knits, or you can send me an email at KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com and tell me a little bit about it, and I will include it in the Show and Tell. So if you missed yesterday's video, it was on using double pointed needles and the history behind them. And double pointed needles are what I used for the sleeves when I got down, well, once I got to the cuff, I had tiny enough needles, but this portion, I did not have enough. Normally I would have done it magic loop and just done 2 sleeves at a time, but because it was changing color every 2 rows, or every 2 rows and then 1 row and then 2 rows and then 1 row all the way through, I decided let's not add any more chaos to what I was doing by trying to do it 2 at a time. So I did do them individually, but the benefit is they were striped, so I could count the stripes, so I make sure my sleeves are the same length, because that would be bad if I messed that up. So this Friday's video is going to be a tutorial on doing the moss stitch, which is what this is. I love the look of it. It's very, very simple. Most of you that have been crocheting for a while absolutely know how to do this. But anyway, that's going to be the tutorial for this Friday. So now it's time for, get my cheat sheet out here. So in our Come and Get It section, and the sales, the companies that are having the yarn sales, I've listed down below in the description box. Just click that bold word more, they all open up, and if there's a coupon code needed, I write it down there too so you can see it. So we will start with, let's see, I'll try to do this alphabetically. We'll start with Jimmy Bean's Wools, which I don't always talk about a whole lot, but Jimmy Bean's Wools has Malabrigo mini sock skeins. Okay, if you're familiar, Malabrigo is a really nice brand. It's a yarn that comes out of Argentina, but they have their mini sock skeins for $5.50 a piece, which is a good price for even an off-brand for mini skeins, let alone for a brand name of Malabrigo. So anyway, they have them for $5.50 a piece. They also have numerous skeins of one-of-a-kind yarns in different weights for sale. So what a one-of-a-kind is, it's something that's been dyed. They're not repeating that dye. There might be, some might be darker or lighter than other ones. So if you're looking for that special one-of-a-kind, like one skein wonder type of project, this is ideal for it. They have them in various prices. I saw some of them as cheap as $12 and some change. And yeah, that's a good price for hand-dyed yarn that is one of a kind. So that is over at Jimmy Bean's Wools. Next we have Knit Picks. Now Knit Picks yarn of the month is their comfy yarn, which means it's 20% off all month long. The comfy yarn is 75% Pima cotton and 25% acrylic. So they have that for 20% off, and then they have another cotton blend yarn called Shine on sale for the next couple days, and it's 30% off. And Shine is 60% Pima cotton and 40% modal, which is like man-made type of fiber, like think nylon, acrylic, that type of thing. So that is Knit Picks. Next we have Lion Brand. Lion Brand has, they're actually running a really good sale. It only lasts till Monday at 9 a.m. But here's the sale, 20% off of select yarn plus 30% off of all of their yarn. So if you happen to pick one of the select yarns that's 20% off, you can get an additional 30% off of that. So yeah, you could get a 20% off and then a 30% off of the total from that. So it's almost 50% off. You do need to use a coupon code for that of May 30 add. If you do choose yarn that is not from that select yarn, then it's just strictly 30% off. But yeah, depending on the yarn you pick, you could get a good deal there. So that's Lion Brand. Then we have Lovecrafts. Lovecrafts has up to 50% off in their clearance section. And right now, this ends on Monday, they are running up to 40% off of their yarn party. Yarn party is what they've titled a whole bunch of yarn that they put on sale, basically. And they're having a yarn party. So you can get up to 40% off of that yarn from there. And then lastly, we have Mary Maxim. And Mary Maxim is running a sale. It's actually a shipping sale. It ends on Sunday. So it does end tomorrow. I'm not sure at what time. I'm assuming at midnight. But if you spend $40, you get flat rate shipping in the continental US for $4.99, no matter how much you buy, as long as you spend over $40. So those are the sales that I know about. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you again on Friday. Bye, everybody.